We're live in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Graffiti Black podcast. I'm Jameson Donahoe with Graffiti Black, and today we have another member of Virola Shoots. Welcome.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Another member? Why do we get the double treatment, dude? That's very nice of you to do.
You know, I don't know. Some things just kind of work themselves out.
That's fair.
So yeah, by the time this is already done, Keaton's episode will be up. So that's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm. Keaton would be our guitarist, singer, vocalist.
And you're the drummer.
I play drums in Virola Shoots, yes.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And you only play in that band, or you have another band?
I only play in Virola Shoots as far as, like...
The public needs them.
Yeah. I jam with other people, but I like the variants. So, but yeah, Virola Shoots has my heart. Let's say that.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Originally, when we were gonna do our episode, I forget what happened, but for some reason, I don't know if you got
reschedule. It was work.
The president needed to talk to him, so let's just have Keaton sub. Then
he didn't remember what he had
to
say.
Real band member in. So
chef, right?
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's a team, and that's what I love about us. So.
Yeah, and so I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that'll be in his episode, but a few things that we were even just I think kind of slowly getting into right before we hit record was I think just for one how you because what I remember Keaton kind of mentioning is how well you two kind of mesh together, kind of based on the background, how long you guys been playing together, all of that. So we can kind of like start from there if you want.
Yeah, Keaton is a terrific human being, one of my best friends in the world. We started playing guitar together at the ripe age of like 12, like 5th grade, 6th grade, whatever age that is.
Like 20.
Yeah, so right, like the Billy Madison thing. Like, in order to inherit my wealthy father's business, I had to go back to and that's when I met Keaton.
For sure.
No, I mean, we were young. We started riding BMX and playing guitar at the same time. So like we've been, I don't know. Actually, the first time I met Keaton, we were in 2nd grade. I stole his hat in a jest type of way, in a fun like, haha, like we're on the playground. I have your hat. And he chased me around for a long time, and then the bell rings, and we like go to line up or whatever. And dude, he slugs me in the stomach very hard for like 2nd graders anyway. And that was my first interaction with Keaton. But yeah, I don't know. We've been friends ever since somehow. But yeah, we started playing guitar together. He was very Iron and Wine, and I was very like The Bled and like just post-hardcore at that point.
Okay.
That was like my sauce back then. Trying to think of any other bands like that I like loved. The Bled though, Past the Flask was like my thing back then. But anyway, yeah, been playing a long time.
Yeah,
at the heart of it.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's fascinating. He didn't tell me the first interaction you guys had was where he punched you. So.
Oh, dude, no, that's he wouldn't either. That's definitely happened though. He thought I was like with malice towards him, and I was like, oh, dude, I thought we were just having fun. I didn't understand how to have fun. I stole his hat, so I deserved the punch. So,
all right,
I don't blame him.
You guys should like write a song about that.
Should go punch,
right?
Something straightforward.
That'd be pretty sweet. Okay, well that's okay. So that's a fun, interesting part. Is it mainly just you two though in the band, or you guys have a third member?
Oh, then we have Patricio Day, Patrick. He is another one of my best friends in the world. We've had a couple bass players over the years, but Patrick's been in for, I mean, time flies, so like 5 years now or something like that, like 3, 4, 5, one of those.
Yeah.
Terrific contributor, compositional mind. He'll be like the first to say like, I still hit bass, and it's like, dude, shut up. You're like compositionally minded, and that matters more to me than technical proficiency, more or less. If you can play the damn thing, then.
I mean, I feel like you're competent as a whole with like knowing how to like make all of that work. That probably will almost take you farther.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the more like commercially viable things. It's not complicated music.
Sure,
but yeah, I mean, he's flavorful. He plays with his heart, and that's what I like about him.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, so I was one of the songs. I'm gonna have to actually pull up the title of it, but I was talking to Keaton about it last time. You know what? I'm just gonna pull it up right now because like the title of it is right on the tip of my tongue. It was a the sack.
The sack.
No, we didn't talk about that, but right after we finished, I looked at the songs. I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
The sack.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know how. It's one of those. Keaton started playing the riff, as most things are. I think I was actually playing guitar at the time when we wrote that. Maybe. I don't know. It was a while ago, so like it's hard to. Sometimes they just kind of pump out. I mean, that's like a very verse chorus done song. So I mean, we deliberately like kept it short because it's like the closest thing we have to. That's our punk rock song, you know. Like that's our slam beat, little dancey section, and it like opens up to that big E.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of our songs that was like, hey, this one's a poppy one to throw out there. So
How'd you guys come up with the name?
it's in the words, you know. There's no need for wearing black, and it won't mean nothing in the sack. You know, it's the irrelevance of pageantry and things like that nature. You know,
Okay.
like it's just a take on that.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I just saw that. That was
From
cracking
my
me up.
perspective, Keaton might have a different answer. So
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I wish I had a record. I think by that point we were just like, hey, man, sack. That's crazy. So, I mean, out of like the songs you guys have up now, you know, what's one of the what's the timeline from like the most recent one up until now?
yeah, the sack and coffin rhythm we've been playing. So like those are the two like singles we released before the EP we released last year. We've been playing those songs in shitty dive bars for like a long time. If I look at the years, it's probably like 5 years, 6 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
we've had those songs for that long.
Okay.
And then just finally got to like laying down. Like it's like, man, time is flying. So we have to harness the moment.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point because I have, honestly, close within that same time period, I've had songs where, I've written songs up to that point where I think the quality is really there of like, okay, out of however many songs I've written, this batch of like 10, 20 songs, that seems to be like really decent enough where I'd be comfortable releasing it. So there's been a period of like, let's try playing out, doing a lot of different things, geared more in that direction, just being in front of people, having more of that experience. But I found a lot of that has actually been almost a distraction where it's like, shouldn't even really be worrying about that, just more like get a lot of your catalog filled up and get that stuff done and released, then come back to that.
Right.
Because like I've looked at where I've had all these really good songs, and then like 4, maybe 5 years gone by, I'm like, dude, like these aren't out yet.
Right.
So it's been a little bit of a realization with that. And I think over the past like 6 months, a year, now it's like, okay, now I'm really actually making a stride to actually get to that point now, just releasing all the songs.
Yeah, well, it's it's hard too to like isolate and focus in that area too because it's fun playing out. It's fun playing live. It's fun refining your set list and making sure everything's polished from a live perspective. But and that's like I said off camera. But when we lay down songs, we don't go somewhere. We do it in house, and that's why it's like. Sonically, they're not where I think they could be, and that's why we didn't release for a long time. Even like the sack and coffin rhythm on, all the medium, Apple Music or whatever, Spotify.
Yeah.
They're not sonically as good as I think they could be. But it was like one of those like I'm sick of not having anything up.
Yeah.
So, and it's a journey to learn these kind of things. And when you're learning in real time, it's like it's audible. So you go back to those songs. I love the sack. I love coffin rhythm. But sometimes I'm listening to it and I can't not listen to the mix. And, it suffices. It suffices. But it would be nice to lay those down again. But as far as the new stuff, since Patrick joined, he actually wrote the lick to Mother Mary and Open Water, which are both songs on
Yes.
The new EP, new last year, newish. So High Low though is another really old one, and that was like our like open AC/DC tune until the end, and then the chorus is kind of like tribally, but
Yeah.
you know, we've been writing these songs for a long ass time, and to lay them down is great, but again, you know, it takes that deliberate focus in that direction.
Yeah.
Which is still hard to do sometimes.
Do you have a specific song where you probably made a good 5-6 iterations of?
All of them. Well, not from a compositional standpoint either. From a sonic perspective, though, you know, if it sounds great, you know, through my monitors, and then I throw it in my car, and I'm like, there's a frequency that's just annoying me. You know, then I go back and revise, and then I make it. I'll go 3 steps backwards, and no step forward. And then I'm like, I sit on it. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with it?
Okay.
So it's not a very it's not a quick process.
Well, yeah, I mean, not necessarily like getting the mix right.
Yeah.
But like you write a version of it,
Okay, yeah.
and it's a little more like, you know, straightforward. But then like you figure out later on, oh, here's a part where, you know, maybe the dynamics of it get really quiet.
Yeah.
And it can like explode in another part.
Yeah.
Doing stuff like that, or even changing up an ending slightly. Is
Mm-hmm.
there anything you've done like that?
Yeah, I mean, so for a long time, Keaton and I were just playing out as a 2-piece, and
Okay.
when it's just drums and guitar, there's no. Keaton's a great lead player, and there wasn't really a great, you know, all the bottom drops out if he goes to play lead, you know, which is fine, but at the same time, now that Patrick's in and can lay down that low, a lot of things in our old tunes have changed. Like we'll go extra measures, let Keaton just
Yeah.
solo, because I mean, at the heart of it, it's kind of a blues kind of attitude where it's like, if it's feeling good, keep going. I know you're gonna keep going. I'm not gonna end it because I can feel that it's still going, kind of thing. So I mean, it's always a moment to moment kind of thing, kind of improv, but not really like controlled improv.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
Very
good way to put it.
blues attitude.
Okay. I mean, there's like songs where I started writing it in probably 2015.
Yeah.
And then I played with like 3-4 different types of musicians throughout those years.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them have put a little different flavor into it.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Mm-hmm. Like some people would I would have one drummer play it one way, and then I would have like a different drummer play it for a different show.
Yeah.
And it would be a thing where, you know, the drummer might do a part where they slightly turn a little bit of it into like a half beat.
Yeah.
Then it goes back to normal. I'm just like, that hits so different.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole mood of the song can change from like just a quick 4-second change up.
Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of like, you know, once a studio version's laid down, right?
Yeah.
Not taking that as that's what we play live all the time. That's like, you know, there's leeway there to, you know, if we're jamming and something happens, it's like, oh, ooh, that was tasty.
Mm-hmm.
We will play that version live. When I was growing up or like a teenager or whatever, I listened to a lot of Him. The band with Vil Vallo, Finnish.
I'm pretty sure I've listened to like maybe 2 songs.
Yeah. It's if you anything before Wings of a Butterfly or whatever. But anyway, you know, I really like that band, and they were huge in like their live versions would be completely different, and that's just cool to me. Like what the hell songs? Oh my god, it's this it's a version of this song.
Right.
So, and you know, like I don't know what people like go to concerts for, but like sometimes, you know, I don't go to hear the album. I go to fucking hear the band play from their heart. So
Yeah, I haven't heard of too many. I wasn't used to that, where bands would actually change and actually deviate away from the original format or formula of their songs. That was like something I heard maybe a handful of times of actual like bands doing. But when a band does it really well, where they can change it and like just make the song entirely different live, and they do it well, it's like that's a really cool experience. But I have honestly have not seen too many bands do that.
Yeah, I haven't either. It's more common in like, if you lay down a blues track, say like Stevie Ray, for instance, or whatever, he lays something down in the studio, Robert Cray, anybody. Live, it will be different. That's just how the blues is. I mean, it's the same chord progressions and everything, but the format is not set in stone.
Yeah.
Within, I guess reason, because blues is still very formulaic, but it won't be the same twice. It's jazz, like there's your foundation, and then you paint on that foundation. The Frank Zappa type of attitude, where it's like, I love what he says, where he's like, I'll never do the same solo twice because I've already done that one. He's like, I have a working knowledge of the instrument, and I have an imagination. And I'm just like, that's so cool.
Word.
And it's also like, that's scary live too. Sometimes, if you're off script, to embrace that is a whole nother
just knowing how to do that well, it's really cool. If they can.
Well, and it's not, it doesn't always work out as as well as you'd want it to, but you move on and
Right. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, going back to songs that you guys have written, do you guys still have any of the very first songs you've all written together as a band? Do you have any of those released?
With Patrick, basically everything we've played since Patrick joined is still in rotation. Before Patrick joined, there's a whole EP we recorded with Joe Wesolowski, the bass player of Medicine Wives. Long time ago that we didn't even release, because it's like, I am so harshly critical of I guess, I just like to put the best foot forward, or before it's out. If I don't love it, it's hard to put it out there for other people to try and love. And they were good songs, and it's good recordings. It was just something was off, something was missing. And there's still, we don't play any of those songs anymore. We have a really great song called "Living by the Knife." It's really old. We don't play it anymore. But that's one in a sea of practice songs, right?
Yeah.
And so not really. We have a lot of old songs that we just kind of, I don't want to say abandoned, but let them go.
We let them die.
We let them die.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I just remember a ton of the first songs I've ever written. I was like, these will never see the light of day.
Right. Oh yeah.
And actually, these are songs from 12 years ago, and I actually found a lot of them recently in this little orange binder that I had from back then. I was like, holy crap! I found all these lyrics written out and everything. And what's really funny about it is there's particular songs where I'm able to remember the melody from the lyrics, and I can just remember the entire song from it.
Right. Yeah.
For years.
Right. When that melody starts, it's like, oh, the whole song's there.
Yeah.
Well, and also though, if you listen to the box sets of old bands, sometimes I think "Hello, I Love You" from the Doors was written in '65, and then but it sucked. It was this demo version where it's just Ray Manzarek, it's very bebop-y.
Yeah.
Which it kind of is anyway, and it might have been stolen from the Kinks, but I don't know. With that said, they reprised it and released it a long time after it was written because it got revised. They reanimated it. They brought it back to life. Hey, I got this tune. So it's nice to have songs in the bank that are why does it suck? Or why is it not? Why do we not love it? Right? And what does it need?
Yeah.
So that's always nice.
Right.
Well, I do know that Keaton had mentioned that we were talking about we have a fourth member being implemented.
Oh, do you?
Into the band. Yeah, it's our buddy Adam Penn, who, he's playing with us every so often. So I just wanted to mention that.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's graduating to official.
Yeah, good friend. He actually just picked up guitar that's probably 4 years ago now, 3 years ago, something like that. But, dude, just put in the work. Became really, really good. He's really fun to play with. gives me great book recommendations. Adam's got great book recommendations. So,
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's why he's in the band.
That's why. Yep. Just for the book recommendations, not your guitar playing, Adam.
Does he write with you?
No, not really. More like, well, I don't know. We have a dude that he started playing a chord progression, and we kind of built around. So yeah. It's not laid down or anything, but it is. It's on the table for this LP that hopefully will be out at some point sooner than later.
If you had to give a due date, when would you say it?
Oh my God!
Give the audience something to look forward to.
A due date? Well, it depends. Like I said, if I do it, then I would say like probably Q4. It's just a matter of, because some of them, like, every time we play it in like practice or like if we're jamming, it's a little different. So like when it comes down to like laying down the composition that will last,
Right.
it's a little different. So, but if we go into someplace else, then maybe a little bit sooner. So, and that's an option. I just,
Like
it's
2030.
2030. Yeah. Hopefully Earth is still here and we're still making music, but yeah, that's when the LP's up.
If Earth is not here by then, where do you think it'll be?
It'll probably be like, a few thousand miles this way or that way, or, it'll still be here, most likely.
That was really vague. Okay.
I could go into this whole George Carlin rant about
Dude.
Yeah.
Have it go way off the rails.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. Well, okay. Let's back up just a second, though.
For sure.
With writing the songs,
Yeah.
how does it typically work as a band? Is it here's one person, like, does Keaton be like, hey, I've got most of this song?
Yeah.
And you guys sort of formulate around with your own parts, or is it like everyone kind of like tries to jump in and equally accomplish? How does that work?
Yeah, usually it's Keaton will have a tune that he's been working on, and it's usually like a verse and a chorus, or something to that effect, a riff, or a riff being a verse or a chorus, or like a series of riffs that he thinks could be the song, and then we'll jam it and just see how it feels. And then it's just a matter of like, if it feels good, we play it until it's being worked on as a song.
Okay.
And that's usually it. And now, like I said, Patrick brought a couple licks to the band that we are playing, and it was like one of those, hey, I got a riff.
Yeah.
And we just started jamming that riff. And same principle where it's like, oh, well, let's build on it. It feels good. So we'll just, we'll stay here for a while.
Okay.
And just kind of see what feels good.
All right. Do you write a lot of your own? Do you write anything on your own?
I write a lot of riffs and songs and things that never get released. I'm not a vocalist. When it comes to vocals, if I were to do, I don't know, singing isn't my thing. It just doesn't feel good to me.
Okay.
I was always, and again, that's like another thing where it's like, screaming was the thing for me, back in the day. So
got it. Okay.
And so when it comes to but the things I'm writing anymore as I age,
sure,
are not as heavy always that I used to write. So it's like it's not warranted. And it contextually, if it doesn't make sense, then I'm in a bind.
Okay.
But yeah, and if it's not like Virola Shoots, if it's not for that, then I just kind of sit on it and have it.
How did you guys come up with the name Virola Shoots?
Virola Shoots. I was in one of my friend's basements. We were hanging out, and forget what the hell we were doing. I think we were on Wikipedia or something. Virola Shoots and Flowers was the name I pitched because I was reading it's the ingredients to dimethyltryptamine, the synthetic form of DMT, and there's a psychedelic principle in the Virola genus of plants.
Okay.
But really, it wasn't anything of that nature. It was just like Virola Shoots. I saw like the shoots of the plant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the literal thing. But then the ambiguity of what the fuck? What does that mean? Virola shoots, whatever. So
Who's
I just
shooting
thought
Virola?
Right. Who shot Virola?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You could like make a story out of it and like arc it with like another LP or something.
Yeah.
But on the LP, do you know how many songs would be in it actually?
I would like so. I think the perfect LP. Well, it depends. But for us, it'd be like 10 to 12.
Okay. Some people do like, like crazy long, like nearly 20. It's just like, dang. Do you ever feel like that stuff's overkill or do you think it's actually a good idea?
Well, it depends, because, if you're going to put on an album, which I'm very much an album person, singles are great, but, I want to get to know the people I'm listening to in a way, if they, there's a big difference between having a song that worked and then having a fucking album that sounds, good. With that said, what was the question? Sorry.
It's just like, an LP, like, do you think
Yeah.
like 15, 20 song range is overkill, or is it?
Yeah, so when it comes time, like listening time, if it's 2 hours of listening time, it better be interesting. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then save those songs and release an EP or something with the remaining songs, whatever flows best contextually to the overall piece.
Right.
I think that's the ticket.
Yeah, the only time I've heard that an LP like that, where you're putting out like really big catalogs, is where you're just trying to have like, if you have nothing on Spotify and you just need more out there to kind of fill up the catalog and have more content out there.
Right.
That's when I've heard it's like a really acceptable and probably the best route to go. Just so like, hypothetically, if a band keeps putting out, songs consistently, like let's say they're putting out 5-10 songs a year or whatever it is, probably 2-3 years from now when like new fans are finding their stuff, they're going to see this slew of stuff that they now can go through and like they can just discover more of this band's stuff.
For sure. But that can work conversely, like sometimes I'll be like, hey, I hear this tune. What the hell's up with this band? And then you look at their catalog and I'm like, okay, let me listen to some other things. And it turns me off because it's like, did they give a shit about this one?
Just with other stuff that's already up there or what?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, the difference between a single and having a catalog, I am of the opinion that I would rather have what we're putting out, even if it's not the algorithmic favored way of contributing to, published content. But but then again, I'm more critical, I find, than some people when it comes to I feel like it's phoned in, I can't listen to it. If it's for money, if the motivation, and I could be wrong, but if the motivation is off to my estimation, it really hinders my experience.
I guess I'm not like tying it together with whether it's a thing of like a money situation or not. I just mean like if a band is trying to get connected with more fans, coming from that standpoint, I just know this guy who used to work with a label who I don't think he does now, but he just knows that having more stuff available that fans find when they discover a band. Because if there's like a lack of like content that a fan comes across, it's like you pretty much like don't retain them.
Right.
So it's just like if you've got 20 songs and they found the one, then like, oh shit, here's like 20 more songs. Right. You just have stuff to like go through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like from that standpoint is where it's probably beneficial. But if you're like well established, it probably doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. If your motivation is to get found and get large, then sure. I just want to love the music we put out, and I don't love every song.
Yeah.
And with that said, it's a fine line too, because holding on to it for too long, and then maybe you never know what's gonna happen. So I think to your point, it is good to just do sometimes, and I hold sometimes when it's who who gives a shit? Just do it and put it out.
Do you feel like that's what you should do with your own songs? No. Like just get them out?
No.
No?
No, I feel like you refine them and make it until you love them.
That's what you do?
That's what I think we do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
For better or worse. And,
right.
You know, probably, I don't know. You be the judge, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, just based on my own experience, a lot of like the songs I have, I've gotten really good with them, but I'm like, I need to get these done and released before I like put out new stuff. Otherwise, I just have more songs now that I worked on for so long that aren't out. So
and I admire that. I mean, it's not a, you know, I'm not saying it's a bad option or the wrong path to take. I'm just, it's hard for me to do that.
Sure.
Yeah. Like I said, if I'm listening to it, and again, I'm probably being more critical than I need to be on a piece, but I will, you know, exercise caution and patience to fix or to refine or to like I said, we were sitting on high-low for a long time. I really like that song. It's not like a complicated song. It was our open A AC/DC tune that opens up at the end, and it finally got there, and that's when it released. You know, we were sitting on it for a while, but
cool.
That's just as of lately, that's been the thing. Which we do have a lot of songs finished now that should be recorded, so that's not an excuse for the present, but in the past, that's been our, you know. Just kind of schematic for how we do things.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whenever you guys do have new stuff coming out, that'll be like exciting to check out.
Yeah,
so
I appreciate that, man.
At some point, they will have more content out.
2030 is the due date.
That's the due date. Cool.
No, it'll be sooner than that.
All right, cool. I guess I guess that seems to be most of what I was like wanting, curious to kind of ask about. Do you have like anything else that you guys like have shows or anything coming up that you want to announce before you kind of like end it?
We would love to play some more shows. It's for some reason been difficult for us to get shows, even when we're ready. So we're a dad band. I am not a dad, but Patrick, Keaton, they're both the dads of the dad band. So time, obviously a prioritization kind of thing. It's family first, but. We still want to play music, play out. So, whenever Medicine Wise or whoever like asks us to play, because we'll play first. I like playing first, honestly.
I would strongly suggest contacting the Garage Arcade Bar.
Yeah.
They revamped the inside, and they've got this really awesome area right on the center of the whole floor where bands perform. It's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's a sweet venue.
Okay. Yeah, we will reach out.
Cool. Well, awesome, man.
Dude,
I appreciate it.
Hey, man, appreciate
this is great. I'm going to get Patrick on here sometime.
Yeah, get the hat trick. Patrick hat trick.
Yeah. No, I'll end up with everyone in the band here on some point.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.